Hello and welcome to It's All About You, the best show about you on the internet. I am B. Dave Walters, life strategist and spiritual coach. This is episode 26, Men. I'm sorry, fellas. I've got to reveal some of our secrets to the ladies, okay? So, forgive me if you guys don't even want to watch this. I understand. You guys can come back next episode, which I'm going to shoot after this one, where I'm going to tell you all of women's secrets. But right now, we're going to talk about guys, okay? Now, normally, I start off with a quote, but I have to tell you, I don't have one this time. So, let me tell you why I'm doing this. Every day, I talk to a lot of different people, a lot of different women, in a lot of different capacities. In fact, as I look at my friends list and my fan page, it's about 75% women. So, and a lot of times I hear questions about relationships and, how to find the right guy and why does he do that, why does he do this. And I notice there's a pretty big disconnect, like a fundamental disconnect between how men and women think and how we interact and how we see the world. So today, I'm explaining to you, my sisters, about guys and how we really work, okay? And remember, fellas, next one I'm going to shoot right after this. I'm explaining to you how our sisters work, okay? Sisters. Guys, okay? How we work. Let me tell you first and foremost, men are very, 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 very simple creatures. Very simple creatures. We only want like a handful of things. Food, sex, sleep. Some of us want silence. Actually, we all want silence sometimes. But that's pretty much it. That's really all we want. I notice, in general, sisters, women are more complex than men. And a big disconnect that comes in is when women believe that men are as complex as you guys are, and men believe you guys are as simple as we are. And that's not the case, okay? So let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, these things that I'm going to be sharing in these next two episodes, this is not me being sexist. This is me talking about biology. There's no value placed on this. I'm not talking about gender roles. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. And I'm going to have to repeat this many, many times. I'm just talking about what a man's biological drive is and what a woman's biological drive is in our two modes of seeing the world and how they can meet in the middle and everybody can be happy. Okay? So let me start right at the beginning of what a human being even is. What a man is. Human beings are animals. We are. We're animals that have been wedded to a divine spark. We're animals that have, God's will and love breathed into us. But in the end, we're still animals. And we're pack animals at that. So there's certain things that are true of everybody everywhere. That's why, when people ask me to look at pictures and read people through looking at their images, I can do that no matter where they are. Because it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. Who you are is speaking so loudly that I cannot hear you. Okay? So that's why there's some things that you can just know about all guys everywhere at all times. Alright? First and foremost, a man's drive is to go out and be a hunter, to be a conqueror, to go out and do things, to fight things, to hunt and kill and be a man and be a warrior. That's what our biological impetus is. Whereas a woman's drive is more to be a nurturer, to be a gatherer, I'm not saying that a woman's place is in the home. Not at all. Most of you know that I work from home and I spend as much or more time taking care of our little girl as my wife does. So I'm not saying this in terms of a man should go work and a woman should be at home. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying our drives. You understand? Our men are to go out and conquer and women are more nurturing. Okay? Now, if you're dealing with a man, I've already talked quite a bit about how to find the right man or find the right woman in the episode on relationships and on the article I wrote. So I'm going to assume that you at least have some concept of who Mr. Right is, or at least who Mr. Right now is. Or you've already got a boyfriend or something and he's not hearing you and not listening to you. So I'm going to kind of help you solve this puzzle right now. Men need approval like women need security. Okay? A man needs to know he's doing a good job. He may never tell you this, ever. But if you want to reach him, if you want to make him feel good, just walk up and just tell him, you know what, honey, I'm proud of you. You do a good job. Thank you. That will get you so far with him. And we talked about this in the past. He might think it's a trap, right, when you tell him the first time, especially if you haven't been very nice to him in the past, okay? Which, that's another thing. Be nice to him, okay? You should be nice to everybody, but especially be nice to your man. For the most part, you cannot gripe, you cannot nag, you cannot argue someone into loving you and doing what you want them to do, okay? If you decide that you're going to browbeat him or anybody else into submission and obedience, they may do what you want in the short term, but they're cultivating a resentment for you in their heart, which is ultimately going to be destructive to your relationship and may destroy it completely. So if you find that over time things are getting more and more strained between you, look at your communication. Is one of you being, aggressive and nasty and mean to the other one? If that's the case, that's why your relationship is starting to fall apart. Okay? So you can take a step back from that, okay? Give him a little more reassurance. Give him a little more support, okay? If there's something that you want him to do, you always catch more flies with honey. You always catch more flies with honey. Okay? If you think he's spending too much time watching football, too much time hanging out with his friends, then what you gotta do is make hanging out with you the absolute best thing in his life. Make that the high point of his existence. And use bait. If there's something that you know he likes, if there's an outfit that you know he likes, if there's a certain part of your body that's a favorite of his, flaunt it. Okay? Maybe you gotta wear a little bit of a tighter shirt. Hey, we got people of all ages that watch this show, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But you know what I mean. You know what he likes. So maybe you kind of got to use a little bit of bait to get him to come your way, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you do need to sit down and watch the game with him from time to time. Just every once in a while. You don't have to become a football fan. Like, I can tell you, when my wife watches the Ultimate Fighting Championship with me, 2 thumbs up. I'm so happy because if she sits to watch the UFC with me, I'm going to sit down and watch Sense and Sensibility with her. Okay? That's the way of things. You got to give to get. It's a compromise. Okay? It's a compromise. Right? And I will tell you for certain, something you don't want to do, and I see this happen quite a lot, is if he does want to watch the game, don't make it mean that he's watching the game instead of spending time with you. That he's with his friends instead of spending time with you. That's not how men work. Sometimes we just need cave time. We just need to be left alone. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. Okay? So don't make it about you. Because here's the thing. If he feels like he needs a little bit of time to himself, and I know you need time to yourself from time to time. I'm just explaining how we think. If he needs time to himself, and you're push to spend time with you, he might do it, but again, he's just going to be mad inside. And you don't want that. If you drag him shopping during the playoffs, don't be surprised when he's not your best friend for the rest of the day. Don't be surprised when you just get kind of, whatever, Don't be surprised when you get those types of answers from him, okay? So, you have to compromise sometimes. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people, men and women, who never want to compromise. They're like, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to change. They should just do what I want. They should just do what I want. Here's the thing. That's hypocritical. That is being hypocritical. And you can either be a bully or you can have happy, successful relationships. Either one, but pick, because you cannot have both. The reason why I say that's hypocritical is by definition. If I want steak and you want chicken and I make you eat steak, I am not listening to the fact that you want chicken. I'm ignoring your wishes, although I expect you to instantly obey mine. That doesn't make any sense. That's not right. Now, like always, I'm going to split this for my brothers and sisters on YouTube. You guys be sure to watch part 2. For everybody else, stay with me. We'll be right back.